Hi, my name is Allison Hoag, and I am the owner of a company in Atlanta, Georgia called Authentic Beauty. And I have been a makeup artist for over almost 30 years now, which is kind of crazy to say that it's 30 years, and I know I look much younger than I am, but I actually have been a professional makeup artist for almost 30 years. I have done celebrities. I've actually gotten to do Jennifer Hudson's makeup. I get to take care of some amazingly powerful women, such as Ted Turner's daughter, if you know who Ted Turner is. But my passion and my love that I've found my heart is to be able to give the gift of taking the mystery out of makeup for real women. One of the things in my career is I noticed that a lot of women are very confused about how to apply their makeup. And we are taught so many conflicting messages from the media to our friends, and really there's nowhere to go to learn how to do your makeup. So I created a makeup studio where women come in and they learn simple, practical, easy techniques to learn how to express their authentic beauty. So that's a little bit about me. I am a mom of two beautiful children who are actually 18 and 20, and my daughter is actually graduating from high school, and looking forward to actually releasing a makeup line in the next year, so you can look for Authentic Beauty makeup, which is very exciting. And I'm going to try to do my absolute best to give you as much knowledge as possible so that you can do your makeup yourself and feel really comfortable and really beautiful about who you are. So as I continued my career, I really felt that women had few choices to learn about their makeup, and I am very passionate about you looking like you when you look in the mirror. So much of the time, I think, especially with the onset of YouTube, where a lot of people are learning how to do their makeup, and you're looking to other cultures and you're looking to these video stars out there doing their own makeup inside of a camera and a computer telling you how you should look. And you know that there's so many different conflicting messages. And instead, what I really believe is that your image should be a reflection of your authentic self. So in order to have your image be a reflection of your authentic self, you really need to do that work to figure out what that is for you. And it takes a little bit of time and a little bit of exploration to actually discover that. And it isn't one thing. It's actually something that evolves over a lifetime. And also in examining that part of how you want to express yourself, then you can learn the skills, and you can get the tools to learn how to do your makeup appropriately. So you want to think about all the techniques that you learn about makeup as putting tools in your toolbox. So you take them out depending on how you want to express yourself. And there's multiple ways of expressing yourself. I don't advocate one way. What I do recommend is that you want to be appropriate to your environment. That your environment that you work in, people judge you based on how you appear. It is how it is in this world, and it only is getting worse. It is not getting better inside of the digital age. So it is very important for you to take responsibility for how you want to communicate who you are. And makeup plays an incredibly important role, because if you decide that you want to wear bright purple eyeshadow, all that people are going to see is that bright purple eyeshadow. So you want to be clear that if you choose to express yourself that way, that people are going to be looking at your eyeshadow and not at you. And that's fine if you want to go out and play and you want to be in an environment that's playful and fun, but in an environment where you want to be taken seriously, an environment where you really want people to recognize who you are, you need to have your image support that. So I'm never going to tell somebody that they can't wear their purple eyeshadow, and I'm not going to tell you that you can't have fun with your makeup, because I absolutely believe in having fun with your makeup. But I am going to try to encourage you to examine how and why and when you choose to wear the makeup that you do. So in saying that, there's very specific techniques and very easy things that I can teach you so that you can learn how to do this yourself. And I'm going to hopefully have some ongoing tutorials for you so that you can continue to kind of watch and learn, and I can give you as much of what I have in my experience so that you can take this on for yourself. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce the Google glasses that I have on my face, because I know this is kind of funny and some of you might know what this is and some don't, but these are known as Google glasses, and I am a glass explorer, and what they allow me to do is to film out of my eye. So I'm going to be able to show you from my eye what I'm seeing so you can experience it really easily. So we're gonna begin filming, and I'm going to talk to you about eyebrows. So I am known in Atlanta as the eyebrow guru of Atlanta. I've actually been written up in several magazines for the way I do eyebrows, and I actually tweeze only. I know some of you are probably cringing from tweezing only. However, it's really important to be as precise as possible in removing your brow hair. To put on a piece of wax and pull off all of your hair does not give you precision, and as a result, the arches can get damaged and it becomes really challenging to frame your eyes properly. Your brows give balance to your face, and there's a way that you want to put your eyebrows and tweeze your eyebrows into place so that the arches line up according to your eye. So I'm going to show you what those are so that you can start to learn and see it for yourself. Okay, so first, we have from the corner of the nose, and here's the tear duct. Hang on, and I'm gonna start filming on my side. Okay, so we can see that right here from the corner of the nose through the tear duct, and here's the socket of the eye, and here's the tear duct. We're gonna take equidistant between the two, and that's where Allie's brows are gonna start. They're gonna start right there, so you can see that hers naturally do, and she's got just such a beautiful natural arch. Then you want the brow to actually end from the corner of the nose, the same thing. Here's the tear duct, and here's the socket. You want to take right in the middle, and that's where the brows should actually end. The arch goes from the corner of the nose to the outside of the iris, and you can see her natural brow, and I'm going to come to the center, actually ends and stops right here, and that's where it should. And so many people take this hair out that is right here, and it flattens out the brow. And people, if you flatten out your brow, you can create the surprise look or the Vulcan look, so you look angry all the time. So your brows will actually make you look surprised or angry or frustrated. So you have to really pay attention to the way that you're sculpting your eyebrows. You just don't want to remove hair, you actually want to sculpt them into place. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the skin. For me, as a makeup artist, having good skin is probably the most important aspect to your makeup application. People think that skin and makeup application is separate. It's actually one and the same. And it is very surprising to me how many girls and young women and older women don't know how to take care of their skin. And you cannot fake good skin. You do not want to cover your skin with a whole bunch of product. You want to allow your own natural skin to glow through. So we're going to go through some fundamentals of how to take care of your skin right now. So the very first thing is that you want to be cleansing your skin. We're going to talk about cleansing a little bit. It is incredibly important to cleanse your skin. I'm sure you all have had to clean an inside of a window every now and again. So you know when you take the paper towel and you clean off that window and you see all that black grime that's on the towel, that's what you walk around in all day. And if you do not wash your face, that is going to seep into your pores, and eventually it will cause a breakout, and it will make your skin look dull, and it is not a good thing to walk around with dirt and bacteria all over your face. So you want to clean your skin twice a day. And you want to determine what kind of skin that you have. There's oily skin, there's normal skin, and there's dry skin, and then there's also something where you can be a combination of all of them at different times, which really most people are a combination of multiple at different times of the year, different times of the month, different times of your season. You will find that you're drier and you're more oily from one month to the next. And you want to know what that means so that you can address the issues with your skin. So with somebody who's oily, it means that by the time you hit 11 o'clock in the morning, your skin feels like you could go like this and there is a whole bunch of oil on the back of your hand. You are truly oily. A lot of people who are normal hit 2 o'clock in the afternoon and feel a little bit of oil on their skin, and they think, oh, I'm oily. It is normal to have oil on your skin. That's what makes your skin healthy and glowing, is to have a little bit of oil on your skin. It's just really important that your skin is clean when your skin is producing oil, because oil and bacteria, not a good combination, and you'll be cleaning up that mess for weeks. And if you decide to pick at your face while you're having a breakout, you can plan on having at least 10 days of a breakout and without it healing. So it's really important to keep your skin clean so that you don't break out and that your skin looks healthy and fresh. So cleansing, I can't say enough about cleansing. So if you're somebody who's drier, what happens to your skin is it gets a little bit dull and it gets a little bit lifeless, and you'll notice your skin will tend to look ashy. So you want to make sure to use the proper cleansing product, and usually for drier skin it's a little bit more, it's a cream cleanser, and for people who are normal to dry, you want to use something you can always read on a package, something that'll say, a cleansing product will say this is for normal skin, this is for dry skin, this is for oily skin. So figure out what yours is based on what I've said to you before, which is, are you oily at 10 a.m. or are you oily at 2 p.m.? That will give you a range of actually if you're oily or not. We've created this crazy culture of being anti-oil, but I will tell you that the oil is what makes your skin looks fresh. That's what keeps you looking younger. So to try to get rid of oil is very silly. You want to embrace your oil. Just keep your skin clean and you're gonna love your skin even better.
First, we're going to cleanse your face, okay? And you always want to rub up. So we're going to go up. So you're always rubbing it up in circular motion into the temple. And you always want to get under the nose.
So the next thing we're going to talk about is exfoliating, and exfoliating is the key to everything. So I am sure this is another analogy. I'm really great at analogies, so hopefully you all can picture this, and maybe we'll get a picture of what this looks like into this presentation. Everybody has seen a lizard molt. You know, when a lizard does its little snaky dance and it shakes out of its skin, and there's that nasty skin that is left behind, and then the lizard crawls out into this beautiful fresh skin, whereas 2 days ago it looked like it was going to die on its deathbed and look ashy with no color. That dead skin sits on our face. We have the same amount of dead skin, except that we don't take it off. We don't shake once a month and get rid of that. So all that nasty dead skin sits on the surface, and then you have the bacteria, and it stays there and it looks nasty. That has to come off. So you want to choose a product that's an exfoliant, and you want to do this 2 to 3 days a week. You won't believe how beautiful your skin will be. And you want to make sure to use a gentle exfoliant, not one that's really harsh to the skin. So make sure that you look for a product that's more natural, that's more sensitive, one that you're not going to feel like you're, scraping your face off with sandpaper. But using something that has a little bit of abrasive to it a couple times a week, you'll be amazed at what it's going to do for your skin. And with your foundation, when you use your foundation, after you've exfoliated, your skin is going to be nice and smooth. So that's what's going to give you that nice, clean, and smooth canvas to have your foundation look the best it possibly can. So exfoliation, most important next to cleansing. Third, hydration. Now, for those of you who live in a much hotter and much more moist climate, people think they don't need to hydrate. Well, that's like saying, I'm not going to water a plant because there's plenty of moisture in the air. You have to water a plant. You have to water your skin. And how you water your skin is by using a moisturizer. What happens when you don't water a plant? The leaves wilt. And what keeps a plant looking green and healthy and vibrant is by adding water. And that's what you want to do by adding moisturizer, is your skin is going to look healthy and fresh and glowing by using a moisturizer. And again, you want to choose a moisturizer appropriate to your skin. Even if you're oily, you need a moisturizer, because if you actually go to try to dry out your skin, which a lot of people do, your skin wants to be oily. That's the way you're made. So you want to not dry out your skin, because if you do, your skin's going to go, oh, I'm dry, I must secrete more oil, and then you're going to be twice as oily as you were if you hadn't moisturized. So I hope that makes sense to you. It's a little counterintuitive, but you really need to think through it, that if your skin wants to be oily, you have to make sure to balance it out so it doesn't overproduce the oil. And the last thing we're going to talk about is sunscreen. I cannot say enough about sunscreen. I'm going to tell you a little story about sunscreen. I am originally from way up near Canada. That is where I grew up. And we tried to bake ourselves in the sun every May. We laid on aluminum blankets and put baby oil on to try to get as much color as possible because I am as white as it possibly gets. Yes, I am. So when I moved to the South, we had a lot of women who had spent a lot of time in the sun, and I had been told when I first learned how to do makeup the effects of the sun and how it broke down your collagen. And I really didn't understand what that meant. Collagen is what's in your skin that keeps your skin looking healthy and plump, so that when you go to touch your skin, it has bounce to it. So when you touch a baby's skin and you touch an old person's skin, the baby skin bounces off, and when you touch an old person's skin, your hands actually can fall into their face. That's because they've lost collagen in their face. The sun will damage the skin's ability to produce collagen, and as we get older, we lose our collagen. So if you want to look younger and you want to look fresher, it's really important to preserve that collagen. And it also is about skin cancer as well. We also know that there's such an onset of skin cancer. So by protecting your skin from the sun, by using a sunscreen on top of your moisturizer, do not rely on just having a sunscreen in your facial moisturizer, but you want to use it, especially those of you where you are out in the sun and you're in the climate where you're exposed to it. You want to really protect yourself. So if you were in Guyana, you are going to be in an environment where you're exposed to a great deal of sun, and the same as the Philippines. So you want to absolutely protect your skin and pay attention to the fact that you're having a lot more exposure to the sun than even many cultures that are out there, because you're in a culture where the sun is shining how many days a year? 270 days a year you have sunshine, maybe more. 300 days a year you have sunshine. So really important that you protect your skin. So those are my essentials for skincare. I can't recommend enough for you to start an early skincare program. You will be so happy that you did. You will be so happy with your skin, and your makeup is going to look absolutely fantastic. So next we're going to talk about the importance of foundation. And foundation is very confusing to a lot of people. So we're going to be very frank in our discussion about foundation. Your foundation should even out the texture and the color of your skin. It should appear so that your skin looks nice and smooth and healthy, and it creates a clean canvas for you to wear your makeup. And to the degree of the coverage of your foundation has to do with the amount of makeup you're going to wear. So if you are somebody who doesn't wear a lot of makeup, a lot of eyeshadow, you wear a little bit of mascara and a little bit of lip gloss, you need to use a very small amount of foundation. If you are somebody who wears a great deal of makeup, that's why most people who wear a lot more makeup, a lot more eyeshadow and lip color, you have to wear more foundation because it looks silly. And so you want to be able to level your different temperament of your foundation. So more makeup equals more foundation, less makeup means less foundation, and you want to kind of keep that rule through and through. So if you're not somebody who wears a whole lot of makeup, but you're coating your face with foundation, you're out of balance. So the whole point is that you want to really create some balance on the face. So with foundation, there are lots of different types of foundation. You can have liquid foundations, you can have cream foundations, you can have powder foundations. There are actually in Sephora, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with, and if you just go count in your drugstore how many different types of foundation there are. I have counted alone 316 types of foundation in Sephora. So I can understand as a consumer how confused you must be as to what kind of foundation you should actually choose. As a makeup artist, it's very confusing as to what foundation you should actually buy because we have so many choices of what's out there. So I'm gonna give you some fundamentals for you to understand the different types of foundation. So there's something called coverage, and coverage equals to the degree in which you see your skin. So you have light coverage all the way to full coverage or heavy coverage. And you want to know when you go to buy your product what kind of foundation that you want. Because if you just go buy whatever and you read the back of the package and it says this is for full coverage, but you're looking for something that's light coverage, you're not going to know the difference. So be very clear What's the effect I want to achieve? That's the question you want to ask yourself before you start your makeup, and that begins with your foundation. What's the effect I want to achieve with my face? And then you're going to go choose the appropriate products for you to use. So with your foundation, your light to medium coverage is usually where most people want to be. There's also something called buildable coverage, which is, as a makeup artist, I don't carry that many foundations in my kit personally because I like to have something called a buildable coverage, which means that if I put a little bit of the product on, I get a light coverage, and if I put a lot of the product on, I get a full coverage. And depending on how I apply it, I'm going to be able to build from light to full coverage. You can also add a moisturizer into your foundations to lighten it up a little bit. So if you have a product that you already are carrying that you know is too heavy for your skin, you can add a little bit of moisturizer and it'll actually lighten it up. That's another trick we makeup artists use all the time. There's also talk about primer. And primer, I don't want to step over. I actually don't believe in using a primer because primer is for people who don't have good skin. And it was originally created by two brothers whose grandfather was a famous makeup artist, and they were photographers, and they had models with bad skin. And they used this product to smooth it over so that they could just apply tons of foundation on. And again, we talked about the importance of good skincare. There's no faking it. You can't layer product after product on top of your skin and really think that it's going to look good. So I really want to just go back to making sure your skin is exfoliated and clean and hydrated, so when you go to apply your foundation, it's going to look nice and smooth. So when you go to choose a foundation, the best place to choose upon to actually try on your foundation is in natural light. So today we're in the studio, so you were going to be in studio lighting, but when you go to buy your product, you want to be able to put it on and test it out and be able to go into the natural light and make sure that it matches. And you want to put it on somewhere in this range so that you can make sure that the difference between the cheek and the neckline is absolutely where it disappears into the skin. It's incredibly important. It's more important to make sure that you have that right color on your face than even it is the amount of coverage. We can lighten it up and buff it out and do all that, but if the color is wrong, it's just wrong. Just wrong. So make sure you can't have great makeup if you don't match the color of your skin. And there's a lot of talk about undertones. So we all have different undertones in our skin. It doesn't matter what shade you are, whether you're the darkest of dark or the lightest of light, you're gonna have an undertone in your skin. And so you have to determine that. And sometimes it's a little challenging. I personally have a very interesting skin tone, which is what I think makes me a great makeup artist, is because I have a neutral skin tone. So I'm somebody who can wear orange, and I'm somebody who can wear bright red. And most women can't do that because of the undertones that are in your skin. So if you are more olive, you're gonna see that there's a little bit of green in your skin. A lot of women see that. It is beautiful to have an olive skin tone. You tan really well, you look really beautiful. My lovely model right here has gorgeous olive undertones in her skin. I covet olive undertones in my skin. So it's a beautiful thing. So then there are people who have redder undertones in your skin. So you wanna make sure you're not choosing too olive of a product, or else you're gonna look like you have mud on your face. So again, the best way is to just put it on, go in the sunshine, and see if it disappears into your skin. So that's gonna be my #1 tip for you to be able to choose your foundation, is to make sure that the color is accurate. Then 2, make sure you choose the appropriate product for the effect you want to achieve. And I'm gonna say that over and over again. You need to figure out what you wanna look like before you go and you apply and buy all these products, because otherwise you're just gonna be applying a whole bunch of stuff on your face and not really have any direction. So you wanna start with the direction. Okay, next. So the first thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna put actually 2 different types of foundation on so that you can see the difference between liquid foundation and a cream foundation. So the first thing we're gonna do is I actually custom blend foundation. So if you can't find the appropriate color, I'm gonna turn on my glasses. Okay. So if you can't find the appropriate color for your skin, it is absolutely okay for you to mix 2 together. So you can see right here, I've actually mixed a toasted beige and a sun beige together in order to make the appropriate color for her skin. And I'm gonna apply it just on the jawline right here, and you can see. And we're gonna see how this blends into the skin. And then from here, if I need to make it a little darker, I can add a little bit of the darker color. And if I want it a little lighter, I can use it a little bit of lighter. You can see I'm mixing right here. And I like to use my fingers when you're gonna actually test the product, because you can feel it and you can work it into the skin a whole lot better. And you can see right there how nice and smooth and how light that product is on her face. Very good. Okay. And then on this side, we're gonna test the cream foundation. And this is actually my favorite product because it's the most natural and it covers beautifully without looking like you have a whole bunch of stuff on your face. And that's probably my most important thing, is that so when you have your makeup on, nobody can look at you and feel like they can scrape down your face and see a big mess. You don't want to be one of those girls. Beautiful. Great, great, great. Okay. Chin up for me. Good. So y'all can see how that's just evening out her skin beautifully on both sides. And she doesn't need a whole lot. So the one thing is, we only want to put the foundation where you need it, especially for doing a more natural look, which is what we're going to do today. Is we're going to teach some fundamentals. So we don't need to use a whole lot of makeup today. So we're just going to use the product where we need it. I'm going to do a blend. This is our product that actually can be used as a concealer, which is where you have a few areas where you want to do a little bit more product than another. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to even out your skin tone with a little bit of this, and you're going to smile. So when you go to apply foundation, the first thing that you want to do is you want to smile when you're applying it. Why? So that you can see the natural expression of your face. If you are stone-faced, go stone-faced for me. Okay, good. And then you go to smile. Okay. These little expression lines become more noticeable, and your product, go stone-faced again, will sit in those lines. So whenever you wonder why your face looks like it's cracking, it's because you look like you're a stone face and you're not applying your makeup with expression. So when you go to smile, when you put your foundation on, it'll actually make you happier during the day because you've smiled at yourself while you're putting on your foundation. It's actually one of the big things, is so that the more smiling, the happier you are, and the better you're gonna look, because you're gonna be from smiling from within. So that is one of actually my really key things about doing your makeup, is to make sure that you smile. Now, how does it feel on you? Does it feel good? Okay, good. Doesn't feel like you have a whole bunch of stuff on, right? You like that, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. So one of the ways is, we're gonna apply it, if we wanted to make a little bit of a heavier face, we would use makeup brushes. Very good. I'm gonna do a tiny bit on your forehead. Beautiful. And then underneath the eyes, we're going to use concealer. And what concealer does is, where you tend to be a little bit darker, where you have some discoloration, or your skin tone isn't even, you can use a product that has a little bit more coverage to it. Look up. And we're just going to put it right under the eyes. And I'm going to just pat it on. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to pat, 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 pat. And we're not going to use a whole lot. And you can see. Okay, smile. Perfect. And look at me. Good. You can see the difference between the two eyes, and you can see that this one is just a little bit smoother, and she just has a little bit of shadowing and a little bit of darkness right there. But just a bunch, just a little bit. You don't need to put a whole lot on, because if you put a whole lot on, it's going to look like you have a whole lot of product on. Okay, good. Smile. Thank you. Okay, great. There you go. And that's a perfect foundation. Perfect. That was like a 5-minute, that was perfect 5-minute foundation, 5-minute tutorial. Love it. Okay. Okay, it feels good, right? All right, let's see if Dana. So now that we have foundation on, now we're gonna move into just some fundamentals where I'm just gonna quickly put on some blush, a little bit of eyeshadow, and I'm gonna go through just a few simple techniques where we're gonna enhance her features. Whenever you're putting makeup on for a natural application, the goal is to enhance your features, your brows, your lashes, your lash line, your cheekbones, and your lip color. So you can do that very simply by actually choosing colors that are in the colors of your skin tone. So one of the ways to think about your face is you want to think of how you look in a black and white picture. So if somebody were to take a black and white picture of you, you're going to register either very light or very dark or somewhere in between. That's how you choose colors for your skin tone. It's actually the simplest and easiest way to explain, and that's how I teach makeup artists to understand your dimension of color. So depending on how light you are, or depending on how dark you are, if you're dark, you have to choose darker colors. If you're lighter, you choose lighter colors. So that's a great, simple way for you to understand what color range you should be choosing. So we're going to just quickly go through, and I'm going to turn on my Google glasses so we can show this technique. And I actually prefer to start with lips. Lips are some of the easiest way to actually create balance in the face without overdoing it. So I recommend that you actually start your application with your lips. So when choosing a lip color, we're using a lip shade that is just a little bit darker than her own natural color. And this is just a nice clean lip gloss, and it's just gonna be looking healthy and fresh. And smile. So one of the easiest ways to get your lip gloss on even is to smile when you're applying your lip gloss. Perfect. Rub together. Beautiful. Next, we're going to use some cheek color, and we're going to use a blush brush. And you always want to choose brushes that complement the size of your face shape. When you get with your professional makeup artist who's going to go through more technique with you, you're going to learn about how to choose the appropriate brush for your own face. So we're going to do sweeping motions along her cheekbone. She has absolutely the most beautiful cheekbones, and we're going to just enhance her cheekbone so that you can really see the beauty of the angles of her face. In a very natural way. Because if you apply too much blush, you can look like you have racing stripes. So you want to make sure that you have a very natural application. And this is just a little bit of a bronzy color. Smile for me. Good. And then I can really see where the apples of her cheeks are. So you want to start from the apple, and you want to bring your brush to the top of your ear. And you can see I'm saturating the brush, which is also called loading the brush. And then I'm tapping off the excess. Loading and tapping. And she's gonna smile for me, and we're gonna go right along that cheekbone. And between each step, what's critical to remember is that you wanna blend between each application step. So you wanna use a blush brush where you can actually blend so that you see no lines of demarcation. You do not want to see where one color begins and another one ends. So it's going to be very important for you to blend. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use one single eyeshadow color. And believe it or not, one of the simplest and easiest things for us to do is to use a color that is almost exactly in the same tone range as her bronzer. Close. And this is one of the simplest and easiest ways to get your makeup to look natural. It's called a monochromatic color scheme, and that's what I am teaching you today. When all the colors are nice and smooth and clean, and you don't see one color over the coloring of your own natural. And you can see I'm using a brush. So with your eyes closed, raise your eyebrows for me. Close your eyes, raise your brows. This is a wonderful way to be able to use the brush to smooth out the shadow. Because again, you want to have no lines of demarcation. Beautiful. Okay, open for me. And as you can see, this is a beautiful way to achieve a 5-minute makeup where her features and who she is absolutely shining through. Qual-Fun girls, you're going to get to work with your makeup artist to figure out what is going to be your authentic beauty for yourself. So I look forward to hearing back from all of you to hear what you've learned and how beautiful you feel. Thank you.